I was just wondering when the protesters screaming Viva Mexico in Los Angeles are going to start protesting in Mexico, since the Mexican National Guard will be helping with immigration starting next week at the southern border.
How many illegal immigrants being deported by the new administration would you find objectionable? Mr. Melnick, I'll ask you, 1 million?
I think 1 million would be a disaster.
2 million?
I think that is enough that would have severe negative ramifications.
I'm not reading what Trump intends to do. I'm reading exactly what President Barack Obama did. Yeah. So you said President Obama was immoral and inappropriate to deport those 1 million people. Is that what I heard you say?
There were many people that were deported
yes,
under
no
his administration that should not have been. Yes.
Look, I would really appreciate it to say, if you would go out on social media and say that the President Obama did a horrible disservice to those people he deported, and he's as wrong-minded as every other Republican who said we've got to secure the border, deport people, because you can't have one being okay and the other one not being okay.
This is not going to be a free ride. It's not going to be some instant amnesty. What's going to happen is you are going to pay a significant fine. You are going to learn English. You are going to go to the back of the line so that you don't get ahead of somebody who was in Mexico City applying legally. But after you've done these things over a certain period of time, you can earn your citizenship, so that it's not something that is guaranteed or automatic. You've got to earn it, but over time, you give people an opportunity. Now, it only works, though, if you do all the pieces. I think the American people, they appreciate and believe in immigration, but they can't have a situation where you just have 500,000 people pouring over the border without any kind of mechanism to control it. So we've got to deal with that at the same time as we deal in a humane fashion with folks who have put down roots here, have become our neighbors, have become our friends. They may have children who are U.S. citizens. That's the kind of comprehensive approach that we have to take.
You plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. What I'm describing is accountability, a common sense middle ground approach.
They've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked, they're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes. And you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
And I want you to share this with as many Democrats as you know, because they love the Obamas. They love Barack Obama. And now saying that Trump is this horrible thing and it's going to deport grandmas and cousins and kids. Carlos Espina watching me, a Democrat influencer here in the great state of Texas. Unfortunately, this guy lives in my state. And he influences millions of people to fear-monger them and tell them that they need to hide, they need to be afraid, that the ICE is going to get their grandma and stuff. This has to stop. This is the one that deported most in all U.S. presidents' history. They even called him in Spanish the boss of deportations. Oh, and this clip is especially for all those that are worried about Trump saying mean things and racism and all these things. How many of you ladies, Democrat ladies, have called Hillary Clinton a racist? She was saying you have to pay taxes, you have to do this, you will be deported, no questions asked, so no trial for any immigrant, racist much. Also saying that you have to learn English. Imagine if Trump or a Republican would say that. You would call him all kinds of names and racism and all of racism. But because she's a Democrat, you paint her as an angel. Enough is enough. Get educated, Democrats, and the hypocrisy shows. And why is it that whenever a Democrat like Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton say a message exactly the same as Donald Trump, only Democrats are angels? Only Democrats are correct. So how come you have so much love for the boss of deportations, Barack Obama, but not Donald Trump if it's the exact same message? Whether it's in Spanish or in English, I'm going to continue to expose every fearmonger like you, Carlos Espina, listening to my video because I know you watch them all. I will not stop until you stop fear-mongering, manipulating, lying, deceit, everything that you do, so that immigrants can fear the Republican Party with falsehoods, with things that are not even true. You want people to live in fear, and this has to stop. because you're blind loyal to the Democratic Party. I'm going to expose it. Because if you really cared about immigrants and you were afraid of deportations, you wouldn't be smiling and being super happy with the Barack Obama, the one that deported millions of them.
Hi everyone, so as many of you know, I became an American citizen in June of 2021, and in April of 2022, I made a decision to go back home to spend some time with my mother, who at the time was battling breast cancer. Remember that I came to America at the age of 19, but in order for me to return home as an American citizen, I had to apply and pay for a visa to go back to my home country. Now think about that. I needed permission to go back to my home country. I could not make the claim that because I was born there, I had every right to be there without proper documentation. So here I am with a Ghanaian name, but with an American passport, seeking permission to go home to visit my ailing mom. Fortunately, I arrived on time to spend my mom's last few days with her. The reason I bring up this story is that people make the argument that just because you've been in this country illegally for a very long time, that somehow that should earn you an American citizenship, that somehow that should give you a reprieve from our laws and a place in front of those who have done it legally. One of the reasons why we come here as immigrants is because we believe in the rule of law, and we're hoping to raise our families in a place where the law protects you rather than oppress you. So for all those people who want us to disregard our laws in the name of compassion, think of the thousands of people who are American citizens today who have to pay money to get visas to go back to their home countries. That is the essence of respecting the rule of law and not claiming some privilege to walk across any border just because you think you have a good excuse for it.
You know what I find, hi, wild in all of this? Literally the most transparent administration, every single day, press conferences, talking all that. Trump was just up there talking for what I felt like was hours. Dr. Phil is boots on the ground, literally filming who they are arresting. Ain't children, it ain't little old women, it's not just Latinos, it's people from all over the world who have come through our southern border illegally and are now involved in illegal criminal activity. So they're not coming after your grandma. They're not coming after your aunt that has no record. They're not busting into your house while you guys have, stuffing on the stove. They're going after gang members in Chicago. What's the fucking problem? What is your fucking problem? Gang members, by the way, who have unalived children while the kids are in their own homes, in some cases. What's your fucking issue? I'm still trying to figure out. Can you please explain it to me?
There's a message to Donald Trump. Hey, Trump, you see all these folks behind me, all hard-working Mexican Americans? I know we all look alike to you, but these folks were born and raised here and working hard to make...
This is why everybody thinks the left is so fucking stupid. Because you are. I mean, let's see what you just said there. These are hard-working Mexican Americans. They were born and raised here. That would make them Americans, not Mexican. But anyway, as American as you or me or Barack Obama. Well, maybe not Barack Obama. He's probably Kenyan. Anyway, but American, nonetheless. And the thing about it, is nobody wants to get rid of people who are born and raised here just because of the color of their skin. We want to get rid of the people who didn't sign the fucking guest book. Have a great day.
I laugh when motherfuckers say, don't you have any pride? Man, growing up, motherfuckers laughed at me because I didn't speak Spanish good. Talk shit because I was white. It's like my mom was born in Mexico. She came here. She worked in the fields. My tias worked in the fields. My tios worked in the fields. My abuelita worked in the fields. I represent what the fuck they came here for. I'll be damned if I fucking don't stand on my 10 toes and represent my motherfucking flag. The flag that I fucking fought for, went to war for, served with Mexicans, Asians, blacks, all died for that motherfucking flag. If you want to be part of this country and you're fucking protesting, wave that motherfucking American flag.
with Trump deporting all of these illegals, I know a lot of you liberals are really concerned about who's going to pick your avocados. And I know several of you, including Kelly Osbourne, are worried about who's going to clean your toilets.
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Maybe just watch this clip.
Because one of the reasons that President Trump got elected, according to President Trump in an interview, I think it was with Kristen Welker of NBC, was because of grocery prices. Not the only reason, but a reason, high prices, inflation, especially at the grocery. The Department of Agriculture says that between 2020 and 2022, 42% of crop workers were undocumented immigrants. And in many cases, as you know, these migrants do jobs many Americans do not want to do. So how does President Trump make sure that the effort to deport people who are not in this country legally doesn't end up hurting Americans who want safe borders, absolutely, but also don't want to see even more higher prices in groceries?
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's not your position, Jake, you're just asking the question, that we should supply America's food with exploitative illegal alien labor. I obviously don't think that's what you're implying. Only 1% of alien workers in the entire country work in agriculture. The top destination for illegal aliens are large cities like New York, like Los Angeles, and small industrial towns, of course, all across the heartland, as we've seen with the Biden floods. Mm-hmm. None of those illegal aliens are doing farm work. Those 30,000 illegal aliens that Joe Biden dumped into Springfield.
I'm talking about the ones that are.
But I'm explaining this. It's important to understand.
No, you're kind of changing the subject. I mean, I'm talking about the ones.
I will give me 30 minutes. I'll go as deep as you want on this. We don't have you and your audience.
I don't have a 30. I'm talking about the ones that work in the agriculture industry.
I'm
you can come back and we can talk about the ones in the cities. I swear.
I'll do the whole answer. The illegal aliens that Joe Biden brought into our country are not full stop doing farm work. They are not. The illegal aliens he brought in from Venezuela, from Haiti, from Nicaragua, they are not doing farm work. They are in our cities collecting welfare. As for the farmers, there is a guest worker program that President Trump supports. Over time as well, we will transition into automation, so we'll never have to have this conversation ever again. But there's no universe in which this nation is going to allow the previous president to flood our nation with millions and millions of illegal aliens who just get to stay here. And we are especially not going to allow a subset of those illegal aliens to rape and murder our citizens. So we are going to unapologetically enforce our immigration laws, and as I'm sure you will celebrate, we are going to unleash the power and might of the U.S. government to eradicate the presence of transnational threats on our soil.
All right. Fuck it.
All right.
ICE is doing whatever the fuck the Orange Tyrant is telling them to do. They're, invading schools, churches, hospitals.
No, they're not.
Nothing's fucking off limits. No. Listen, I live right next to an elementary school. My house has been used to harbor escaping black slaves. My house was part of the Underground fucking Railroad, and I will not hesitate to hide those kids in my basement to keep them safe, to get them back to their fucking families. And you're telling me that I will not hesitate to barricade my doors to protect those fucking kids, and will hide their parents. I don't know if my tunnels are still connected, because there's houses all down the street that have tunnels hidden in them. I will hide those kids to protect those kids and their fucking families. Fuck Trump.
All right, kiddo, here's one out of many that you can house and hide. Here's another. Maybe this one can tell you a bedtime story. Oh, he looks fun. Looks like he'll bring some goodies. Yeah, I don't know, you might wanna watch out for this one. Assault of a female. You look like a male, so I think you're safe. Well, that's not that big of a deal. He said he'll bring a 6-pack.
This administration, the Bush administration, has done nothing to control the problem that we have. We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders since George Bush took office. It has become an extraordinary problem, and the reason the American people are concerned is because they are seeing their own economic position slip away. And oftentimes, employers are exploiting these undocumented workers. They're not paying the minimum wage. They're not observing worker safety laws. And so what we have to do is create a comprehensive solution to the problem. Now, I have already stated that as president, I will make sure that we finally have the kind of border security that we need. That's step number one.
Step number 2 is to take on employers. Right now, an employer has more of a chance of getting hit by lightning than be prosecuted for hiring an undocumented worker. That has to change. They have to be held accountable. And when we do those things, I believe that we can take the undocumented workers, the illegal aliens who are here, get them out of the shadows, make sure that they are subject to a stiff penalty, make sure that they're learning English, make sure that they go to the back of the line so they're not getting an advantage over people who came here legally. And when we do that, I think that we can, instead of shedding all this heat, start shedding some light on the problem, and we can once again be a nation of laws and a nation of immigrants. That's what I intend to do as President of the United States.
Stay tuned for part 3.
Every day you wake up, you got a decision to make. To go right or left, up or down, right or wrong. At the end of the day, you make the decision. Nobody forces you. So make the right decision. Make moves, set the goals. Stop making excuses, man. And if it look like a duck, walk like a duck, and sound like a duck, it's a duck. Stop guessing. Just do the right thing. You heard? You hear me? I love y'all. Stay positive. Love one another.
All right. Whoever the fuck doesn't like the United States of America, may God bless you. But fuck you at the same time. If you don't like the United States of America, go back to the countries that we the fuck from, and you'll see how much you appreciate the United States of America.